This is week 2 of Ironman training, and I said that in last week's video, but that was actually a recap of training week number 1, and I'll just say it up front, this week was full of challenges that left me doubting my commitment to this goal. To sum it up, here's a diagram about the life of a project, and right now I'm somewhere between harder than I thought and this sucks. So let's dive into this week's drama. After resting on Monday, Tuesday's workout started on a high note when I bested last week's 10K pace and did my longest run yet. My aerobic fitness felt great, but the same hot spots in my right knee and my right hip flared up and left me hurting well into the next day. Luckily, I had my physical therapy appointment scheduled on Wednesday with Dr. Jordan Eldridge, who also happens to be a longtime friend and sports rival. Jordan's knowledge and precision in the assessment was pretty incredible, and he showed me how my knee problems were primarily load related, aka I was doing too much too soon.
Okay, and that's just like we're overloading the tissues.
He pointed out that I'm lacking mobility in my hips, I have tightness in the calves, and I need to strengthen my glutes. Now, it never feels good to hear someone tell you everything that's wrong with you.
Obviously, we have issues.
But overall, this was great news because it means that everything can be fixed with regular stretching and mobility exercises. On the other hand, it adds more things to the daily training schedule, which has been difficult to adjust to lately. But I know it can take time to adjust to a new routine, and so I've been focusing on developing the discipline to show up every day and get through the workout no matter what my mind or my body is saying. But there's a caveat to that last part because there's a real difference between pushing through indifference or fatigue and pushing through an injury that's causing harm. The day after my 10K run, I needed to make up the ride I missed from the day prior. And the whole time my right knee was sore and I couldn't really put down the power. It just felt like it was making this injury worse. But I pushed through on that day because I needed to get the swim done, which I had planned to do at Lake Natoma, which was at the end of my ride. And as soon as I jumped in, I realized it was way too cold for me and I got right out, which set me back a swim workout for that day too. Just trying to catch up on yesterday, like catch up on sleep, put in that hour-and-a-half ride that I missed. I feel like I'm behind. But on the topic of cold, jumping in that chilly lake did provide some relief for my knee pain, which was a good reminder that icing can help with sore joints after a hard workout. Also, through Jordan, I learned another benefit of cold while we were doing some sauna and cold plunge at his gym. He turned me on to the Huberman Lab podcast featuring Dr. Susanna Sodberg, whose research on deliberate cold exposure has shown to improve metabolism, cardiovascular and brain health, balance hormones, decrease inflammation. In layman's terms, making yourself feel cold can actually improve your health significantly. So I'm thinking of adding some ocean cold plunges or cold showers to my routine, but not making any promises yet because just completing this training has been hard enough. To recap the week, I did an hour 45 of running, an hour 15 of swimming, and 7 hours and 15 minutes total of cycling, which puts me to a whopping 10.25 hours total on the week. And I know that falls a bit short of the schedule that I laid out in last week's video, but I did improve from last week in terms of consistency and spreading out the workouts evenly throughout the week. I weighed in today at around 136 pounds, which is close to last 2 weeks' weight, but I might be starting to lose a bit of weight, which would also make sense. In closing, I have 2 more points to make about the training load in this past week, and the first is surrounding intensity. Just coming off the couch, aiming to achieve 12 hours of structured training per week is going to improve my fitness no matter how I approach it. But after I get past those beginner fitness gains, I know my training will need to get more specific and ideally taper off to peak on race day. So my next goal is to either find a coach or some online resources to help me dial in my training zones and workout intensities so I don't burn myself out on some arbitrary time goal. And my final point is about the psychological aspect of training. My main goal for entering this Ironman is to just follow this training plan and help me live a healthier and more disciplined lifestyle. But I also set a pretty challenging time goal for myself, and I think that's created some stress and dissatisfaction in the process. But discipline sometimes means sacrificing what I want now for something that I want more in the future, whether that's a healthier lifestyle, a fitter body, or a specific time in the Ironman. And since I'm still early in the process, I'm gonna stick it out. Change is hard, so I want to give myself some time to see how I adapt both physically and mentally to these lifestyle changes. But in the upcoming weeks, if I find that I'm dreading my workouts or not enjoying the lifestyle, then I might need to make some changes to my goal time. As always, I appreciate you watching, and I'm eager to hear your thoughts on training and discipline, so leave a comment down below and let's start a discussion. I'll see you in the next one.